He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. This is the nature of living creatures. Friedrich Nietzsche. The winter arc is here. We've all enjoyed the summer, the freedom, the warmth, but now it's getting a little bit colder, quieter. And in a sense, we are back to the reality, or in a sense, life is sinking back in. Maybe you haven't realized it, but you are maybe in the same situation that you were last year. Maybe facing the same obstacles that you swore you'd escape, and everything will be different this year. Everything will be different when the winter's here, but things haven't changed. But watching this video, I can teach or I can explain that this time's gonna be different. It's time to lock in. I think with discipline is such a simple word, but it's probably the hardest thing to master. I think the successful people, the people that have managed to be successful in their sports, profession, all these things, is due to mastering discipline. I think with the principle of discipline is making sure that all these three factors align, so that is mental, physical and spiritual, and they all align into the one direction or where you want to be. It sounds simple, but in practice it's very difficult, because reality is that we all have life, we all have lives, we have distractions, and the moment you start something, suddenly a little voice or life whispers, wait a minute, don't forget about this, or wait a minute, where you think you're going. But in a sense, it leaves you in the sense that you feel trapped. You're pulled back into your old habits, and in a sense, life has got you wrapped around its finger. The truth is, life isn't your enemy, and in a sense, life is trying to discipline yourself or check you. I think, in a sense, with the way I look at life or the universe, in a sense, is that life wants to check how bad do you want to get to this destination. And the way I'll put it is, for example, in a sense, right now you are driving to a destination that could be losing weight, money, success, or something that you want to get to. And life, in a sense, will put pit stops and distractions in the road to prevent you to get to this destination. In a sense, these distractions are not evil. The way I would explain it is they are checkpoints, and they are life in the sense of the universe checking yourself. How bad do you want to? Do you really want to get to this situation? Do you want to get to this destination? And it's really, in a sense, checking what is it really worth, and how focused are you to get to that destination. If you continue to go with these checkpoints and stops, it might take 10 years, or in a sense you might realize it later on. But if you stay and use discipline, you get there far quicker. And that's the way I'll explain life and how discipline align. And what I'll use in terms of my examples are, for example, Saitama. I've been watching anime, or the anime I'm using right now is One Punch Man. One Punch Man is by far a simple anime. You have a bold guy that is the strongest in his verse. But reading into it and watching it, I've realized that Saitama is a person that broke his limiter through pure discipline. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 10k runs every day. No powers, no shortcuts, just routine and a sacrifice and focus. He even lost his hair, but he gained something that was mastery over himself. It sounds very simple, but looking at it, we see the success story later on. People don't realize his strength, and when they realize his strength, they are puzzled in the sense like, you really achieved this level of strength due to doing something so simple and being so disciplined. And that is the truth. I think when looking in life in itself, is that many of us will speak to individuals that have gained wealth and all these things, and they tell us discipline, and we look at them puzzled like, huh? What? Because we think there's a greater secret to success or wealth or for example getting the dream body that you want. But in reality, it's that simple. Discipline. It is in a sense mastery over yourself, to understand that the destination that you want to get to requires great sacrifice and requires you to be focused and to make sure that you can stay there. You might not see results 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, but in that 4th year you might reach the results or even greater results that you've never predicted. I think one of the greatest characters I can use right here, in a fictional character, not an anime, one of the coldest and the greatest superhero ever, Batman. Batman is very simple, like Saitama. Batman has no superpowers, no magic, and my argument against anyone that tells me Batman versus this, just give Batman prep time. It's that simple. And obviously it puzzles everyone, but in a sense the way I would explain it is that, or I'll link it here, is that Batman is a simple character, but he shows or represents the heights and the potential of human beings through sheer discipline and purpose. He is, in my opinion, the strongest with the prep time. He stands tall against gods and aliens, and all these guys fear him. He's a simple human. Obviously we can say he's got the billions, however with that billions he's using it to align with his purpose and goals, and in a sense it doesn't distract him, it enhances his mindset and his discipline. And the sole focus of what I explained, Batman is the potential of what human beings can be. And in a sense, when I say prep time, every time I see myself now is that I am Batman. I think a lot of people believe they are Batman. And in a sense, with the prep time, you can use to your advantage. You can see your goal or see what you're thinking, and with prep time, you can challenge and overcome this goal with the prep time that is required. I think with these two characters, it's simple. They are basic human beings, and that's it. But it's understanding that discipline is required for them to be great or to be who they are. I think discipline, as I said, is very simple. However, for us to truly achieve our goals, we need to master ourselves and understand mentally, spiritually, and physically why discipline is required. And that means cutting our hours with friends, cutting out hours, partying, spending less money, doing all these other things. There's so many factors or things that deter you from reaching your goal, especially if you want, for example, financial freedom, or for example, the body that you want. You might have to cut the food that you eat. Obviously it's difficult in a sense, and then once you do one thing, it leads to a ripple effect, and then you just go back down on a spiral. And I think with discipline, it's understanding that all that you're doing right now is going to be worth it. And in a sense, you have to not trick your mind, but make your mind realize that I will be there, or understanding that I'm already there. So if I am the person that I say I am, if for example Batman or successful person, what certain characteristics or certain things do I do? And it's that simple. And the thing is, a lot of us think, right, alright, cool, I'm here, I want to be there. Okay, when I'm rich, I'm gonna do this, that. But that doesn't make any sense. Why does it have to be when you are rich? Why can't you do it now? And it's that discipline, understanding that certain things, or tricking your mind or tricking the universe to think that you are the billionaire that you are. And don't get it twisted, life will say, wait a minute, things don't make any sense. But the more you live by that purpose and the discipline that you believe in, the more life will be like, you know what, I hear it, alright, cool, let's go. And it's kind of just aligning yourself, your mindset, your spirituality and your mental to align with these things. And once you do so, life or universe will not gift it, but it will understand and follow you and make it much more easier, but it will test you. And with discipline, you will be able to have the shield and armor to remove all these distraction checkpoints that life tries to put in your journey. And as I said, it is winter arc. With the winter arc is not one arc. Winter arc is multiple arcs. With anime or any TV shows, you have seasons, you have arcs, and this is just the way it is. So that doesn't mean that right now you have to lock in and that's it. You have to understand that is going to keep going on. So right now it's October arc, next is November arc, and then we go again. And once you realize that everything's an arc, a season of your life, you understand that, you know what, I gotta keep going. And I think one example that I'll use as well, not one of my favorite animes, but one of the animes that I kind of respect now, or one character, Midoriya. Ain't gonna lie, I didn't respect him in a sense, but I think what I realized with him is that many of us are gifted or have talent given to us, or not even given, opportunities given to us. Though with that opportunity being given to us, what do we do with it? I think Midoriya teaches or shows that with discipline, you can, one, reach the goals of your GOAT or the people that we look up to and surpass them. But that requires you to have great discipline and focus to where you want to be. And I think with Midoriya, one, from the beginning he was just weak. Two, when he was still kind of weak. However, it's that constant understanding that I always want to get better, and no matter what, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to put in the work, and I'm going to make sure I'm disciplined to what my goal is. I think another person you can use is Vegeta. Vegeta is the same prince. However, no matter what, Vegeta is always training, ready for whatever obstacle, whatever alien, whatever Frieza or anyone is coming, because he knows with great preparation, great discipline, he will overcome that. Obviously he takes some L's sometimes, and I ain't gonna lie to you, sometimes I feel like Goku gets a lot glazed sometimes, but I think with Vegeta, he in a sense is the best character in Dragon Ball, just because he teaches and shows what great effort, discipline and principles can reach, or what you can reach with those factors. So in terms of this video, what I'm saying is winter arc is here, but what are you willing to do in your winter arc? Is this the winter arc from last year? Is it the winter arc from a couple years ago? You're really gonna lock in, and I mean really lock in. What are you willing to do? And if life puts in these obstacles and these distractions, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stay there for a little bit, maybe 2-3 years, or are you gonna say I'm still driving no matter what?